Welcome to the David Pakman Show. I am Farron Cousins. I will be sitting in for David Pakman all of this week. We've got a lot of stuff to cover today, everything from Build Back Better to the January 6th Select Committee, a bunch of lawsuits to talk about, Fox News, Michael Cohen, and Donald Trump himself. So let's jump right into it. Obviously, the biggest news to come out over the weekend is Build Back Better. We went into this weekend with the assumption that Build Back Better was effectively on its deathbed. The Democrats had said we're not going to be able to pass it before Christmas like we had wanted to. Then talks broke down between Joe Manchin and Joe Biden. And then on Sunday morning, Joe Manchin goes on, of course, Fox News to let us know that nope, it's dead. There's nothing that he can justify in this bill, he says, to vote for it. Here is Joe Manchin, in his own words, appearing on Fox News Sunday morning to tell us why we can't have nice things. Take a look.
I've always said this, Bret. If I can't go home and explain it to the people of West Virginia, I can't vote for it. And I cannot vote to continue with this piece of legislation. I just can't. I've tried everything humanly possible. I can't get there.
You're done. This is a no.
This is a no on this legislation. I have tried everything I know to do, and the president has worked diligently. He's been wonderful to work with.
So in spite of the fact that this bill is broadly supported across the country, including in West Virginia, in spite of the fact that this bill would provide tangible benefits to millions upon millions of Americans, again, including his own constituents in West Virginia, would make people's lives better, would allow low-income families to have food for their children. I mean, literally, that's one of the provisions in the bill. By the way, if you weren't aware of that one, that's an often overlooked one, would provide money for families to get food for their children over the summer when schools are not in session and they can't get those meals. And Manchin says, no, I can't justify this. There's nothing I can do. I've looked at it every which way, and Biden's been so great to me in the negotiations, but dang it, I can't make the country a better place. That's what he's telling us. I can't make the country any better than it is. And of course, after this appearance on Fox News, his office did release a statement. And one of the things he highlighted in his statement that he personally released was that it just transitions us off of fossil fuels a little too quickly for him. He didn't mention, of course, that he owns a stake in a dying coal company. Just said, nope, it is a little too quick for us to get on the renewable energy bandwagon, to revamp our energy structure here in the United States to actually help us handle renewable energies. Nope, just too quick, too much, adds too much to the deficit, he tells us, would send inflation soaring, which is based on a faulty CBO score, based on a fraudulent bill, by the way, that Republicans sent to the CBO for scoring, that included things that, one, weren't in the Build Back Better Act, and it extended provisions that are not extended in the Build Back Better Act. So the Republicans, and Joe Manchin used this as his justifications, send this fraudulent bill to the CBO, thereby getting a fraudulent score on it, showing all kinds of horrible things that, again, couldn't happen because the things they had in it weren't actually in the bill. And Joe Manchin uses this knowingly faulty piece of information as his justification for killing Build Back Better, saying, I can't rationalize it. I can't justify it. There's nothing I can do. So, to hell with it. Now, he did use a couple words in there that we need to pay attention to. He said, this bill. So maybe that means Build Back Better as a whole, or it could mean in its current incarnation. So maybe Joe Manchin is signaling that once they return from their holiday break, maybe he's willing to continue working on it, but I seriously doubt that's the case. I think Joe Manchin did send a strong message that he's done with this bill altogether, no matter what it does, no matter what kind of concessions that President Biden and the rest of the Democratic Party make. He is done with Build Back Better, which of course puts the Democrats in a really horrible position heading into next year's midterms, because this was supposed to be the signature piece of legislation, right? Okay, we got infrastructure. Fantastic. A lot of the funding mechanisms for that infrastructure bill are in Build Back Better, though. So there will be parts of the infrastructure bill that are not going to be able to be fulfilled because the funding isn't there because it was in Build Back Better. That's why the two bills were paired together. It was supposed to come as a package deal. And we only get half of the bill. So that's going to be a big problem too. And again, to do this in what is effectively an election year, because the election is less than a year away at this point, Joe Manchin is telling the Democrats, so long and good luck. Because this is going to come back to haunt them in the midterms. Now, there's things that are haunting Republicans, and I'm going to get to that later in the show. Don't you worry. The Republicans have plenty of demons to deal with on their own, but right now the Democrats have to deal with their demon. And that is Joe Manchin. And of course, there's everybody on social media has got their personal opinion on it. You know, a lot of people out there saying Manchin's just doing what the establishment wants him to do. That Joe Biden is kind of glad that Manchin did this because he wasn't obviously wholeheartedly supporting this. We can only speculate, right? None of these people, myself included, know exactly what the reasoning is. Do we know that the corporate interests want Build Back Better dead? 100%. That's unequivocal. Do we know for a fact that Joe Biden, doesn't really care about this? No, we don't. You can only speculate about that, and I don't like to get into that kind of speculation because it's not fair. It's not accurate, honest reporting, so we're going to avoid the speculation and focus on what is happening now. And right now, based on Joe Manchin's own words, it does appear that Build Back Better is effectively dead.
Your internet activity and data is being observed by a variety of parties. They're selling your information. They're deciding what you can access. Don't let it happen to you. I use Atlas VPN to keep my internet traffic private from ISPs, tech platforms, online marketers, even governments. And Atlas VPN keeps me protected against hackers, people eavesdropping on networks to steal your information. If I turn on Atlas VPN before logging into Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon, I can access streaming content from other countries. I can even watch stuff from Argentina, like soccer. I use Atlas VPN on all of my devices. You install it, you turn it on once, and then you just forget about it and enjoy your privacy. You can read online about why VPNs are so important to use every day. Really something you should have, and Atlas VPN is having a huge sale, giving you 86% off. Comes out to like $1.39 a month for a subscription, plus you'll get 3 months free. Just go to atlasv.pn/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is down below.